according to you, we're ancient, so it should be by mid-season we'll all be 50, I guess. So.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Big Time Fantasy Football. You're here with your hosts, Nick and Zach. Today, we have a very special video for you. We're going to be giving you guys a little bit of a preview on our Big Time roster reviews, just so you know what to expect when you send us your teams. We'll give you that feedback. And before we get into all that, please be sure to give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already. It will really go a long way in helping us as a small channel to grow and become big time.
All right, guys. So, I'm going to get into it, break Nick's team down here. But remember to send us your rosters. We want to get some of the fans, some of the subscribers' rosters broken down as well. So send them over. We'll attach our email, or you can just drop it in the comments with your league section, your league settings, and just your team. And then we'll break it down, give you a rating, and discuss it for you. So, we definitely want to do a few. So drop some in for us. So, we'll pull up Nick's roster review, what I did for him on the screen here. So basically, how it breaks down, I gave him a 68 overall. His roster, the starters here, we got Anthony Richardson, Isaiah Pacheco, Javonte Williams, Drake London, DJ Moore, Deebo Samuel, Evan Ingram, Jalen Waddle, and then JJ McCarthy. Obviously, the league settings are up there up top, so you can check that out. It's just 12-team super flex, half PPR. But so not a bad roster here. The way I saw it, you can see on your 3-year plan, I didn't necessarily say rebuild because you're not rebuilding. You have kind of some pieces in place. But there is still some things to build on. So you're not too far off from contention. So it's not like you have to start selling off assets, as long as everything, kind of goes smoothly. You'll definitely be in a position to contend soon. So major things that I saw really is you're going to want at least one more starting quarterback. You have a few guys that are backups right now. You even have your handcuff QB situations for JJ. But if Anthony Richardson goes down, you're in a bad way there. So that's why I kind of have your players to target. Some affordable guys you can go get, like Baker Mayfield, Will Levis, maybe even like a Geno Smith. Just someone that is going to be a starting quarterback that you can plug in just in case anything happens. And then having a quarterback as an asset is always good in a super flex. See your ratings there. Biggest thing to work on is the quarterback, and then get some depth there. The two biggest things I would say for you. You do have a younger team, so you still, can build on that. Like I was saying there, I feel like a big player for you is going to be Nick Chubb, just in the way we don't know, how bad his injury is. He actually just talked to media today and said he's not giving a timeline for it. So I was originally expecting him at least to miss up to week 6 to 8. Like that would be his kind of return time. It seems like some people are talking about him like he's a possibility for the season opener. That would obviously be ideal for you. But I feel like by week 2, 3, you're going to kind of want to make a decision on him if you want to try to take him along, or if you want to, sell him off for an asset to a contender. It's kind of what I'm thinking. How are you feeling about Nick Chubb at this point? I'll let you get some 2 cents in.
I mean, love the talent, but, we'll see. I think you're right. It's probably going to be missing 6, 7, 8 weeks. And then I don't think he'll be full speed just yet. But hopefully around playoff time, he's picking up the pace a little bit, getting better. He only has Jerome Ford in that backfield to really compete with. So I think he can still keep his RB1 role on that team and come back. If he can come back healthy and good, I'm sure next year he will return to almost elite status, or probably high-end RB2 status. And I'm really excited for him. I agreed with pretty much everything you said. My quarterback situation, the past couple years, I've kind of been neglecting. And I had kind of an older roster. And last year, I was really looking for youth, so I made a few trades this offseason. I picked up Drake London. Last year, I picked up DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle. So I was really just trying to get younger in my receiver room. And my quarterback, Justin Fields, I thought he was going to be a starter this year, so I really wasn't too worried about it. Thought I was going to have AR and Justin Fields to be able to put in my starting lineup. Not the case. I'm still hopeful that Justin Fields will take over as the QB1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers midway through the season, but that remains to be seen, and we'll have to feel that out. So.
Yeah, for sure. Another guy I wanted to kind of talk about, Evan Ingram. It's a great tight end to have. I think he was tight end 3 last season, if I'm not mistaken. And then the only guy returning really from the offense last season as far as a pass catcher is Christian Kirk. So he's going to have the most connection, with Trevor Lawrence there. So obviously they did add, Brian Thomas and then Gabe Davis. So those are pass catchers. But as far as the connection, Ingram has a leg up on them. So hopefully he can continue. And obviously they'd like to use them. But yeah, biggest thing I would say is try to get an RB, an extra quarterback. So you have 3 starters, and then an RB kind of in that like high to mid 20s range, just to have, someone kind of as an RB, solid RB2 there. I like Javonte Williams. I like the talent, but he's year 4 now. Year 4 or year 5?
I believe he's year 5.
Year 5?
Or
It's
year
still
4.
a question mark for him,
Going
because he's
into
had the
year
talent to show, but still a big question mark on him there. So we'll just have to see how that works out. But overall, a solid team. You put yourself in a position to succeed. I don't think you'll be one of the top contenders this year, but unless you fall off the wagon, then you'll be contending in a couple of years here. So not a bad job there. One thing that I was going to mention that hurts is you don't have your 2nd or 3rd round pick this year, which definitely is no good assets just for trading and then drafting a guy yourself. So maybe find a way to offload something for maybe Nick Chubb for a pick and a backup quarterback, or like a low end quarterback, maybe something like that. But yeah, overall pretty good.
All right, now getting into my roster review for your team. This is going to be the same league, so as you see, same settings here, 12-team Superflex, half PPR, no tight end premium, and your team is the Dakyardigans. Overall, here I gave you a 95. You're pretty solidly in that contending window. You have been for the past couple of years, and I do see you have some young talent, so I think you will stay in that contending window as long as you make the right moves. Don't do anything too crazy, no blockbuster trades. But getting into your roster, you got Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott as your starting quarterbacks. You got Christian McCaffrey, Travis Etienne, and James Cook at running back, so pretty good. Decently young there besides Christian McCaffrey, but he's elite. And then wide receiver-wise, you got Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown, Brandon Ayuk, and Nico Collins, with Keenan Allen hanging out around the bench area. And then tight end-wise, you got Jake Ferguson and the guy who's probably going to retire pretty soon here, Darren Waller. So I like your team. You got a really good talent, some good young pieces, but I think some of your elite guys are getting older. So, use them for a year, maybe a 2nd year, and then it might be time to get rid of them pretty soon here. As far as 3-year plan, I have you to still contend this year and contend next year. And then the year after, I put rebuild, contend here. I just think you got to start moving off some of your older assets, like I said, and it's important to capture the maxed value on these guys. So I think some small trade downs, like off of Christian McCaffrey, if you can pull off Christian McCaffrey for Jonathan Taylor plus, I think that would be a great move for you and your team. Same with like a A.J. Brown here. He's going to be your oldest receiver. I don't know, especially with Devontae Smith still there and the Eagles and how the last half of the season last year went. We'll see how long of a contending window he has as far as value goes. Overall roster strength, I gave you 7 at quarterback. You got 2 pretty good starters, but once again, Dak is getting older. He is kind of that lower end. We'll see. Cowboys have been talking about not giving him a contract extension just yet. And, they don't really like to pay up for their guys, so we'll see how that all works out. He'll have a job either way. I mean, he's been producing at an elite level fantasy-wise. So I like your quarterbacks. You got some decent depth there, too, with Matt Stafford and Danny Dimes. Those 2 players are fringe guys and could change within the next year or so here. So that's why I bumped you down a little bit. And running back wise, I like your running backs a lot, but just the age and the depth you have behind these three guys is very minimal. So I bumped you down to a 7 there. And then wide receiver wise, you have really good wide receivers. Your oldest guys, I mean, besides Keenan Allen on the bench, A.J. Brown as a starter. I already talked about him. You have really good depth with Nico Collins there coming off the bench, so you're good there. I think you're really missing an elite tight end. You have Jake Ferguson, who is a younger guy. He could blossom into that elite guy, maybe top 5 guy, but I just don't see him being the top option, like a number 1 tight end. And your bench is pretty shallow, besides Nico Collins. Like I explained, you have a mix between a lot of young rookies and older guys that are just there for maybe this year, maybe the next season. So I think it's really important for you to, like I said, make the small trades. Don't do a blockbuster deal, but just make small trades to retain your value. If you were going to do a blockbuster deal, I would focus on getting a tight end 1. Dalton Kincaid and Kyle Pitts are both great players to target. Kyle Pitts, he's a little undervalued because he just hasn't performed yet in his career, but he got a big QB upgrade. I think that's a really good spot to buy. And if you're just looking for a safe tight end 1 that you know will probably produce, Dalton Kincaid in a bigger deal. I'm sure you can work that out with your depth and all the talent you have on your roster. I talked about Jonathan Taylor already. I think flipping CMC for him, getting a little younger, but keeping that production, you can definitely get something on top for him. And then I think a small move you can make is Jackson Smith. I think he is a good receiver, but with that loaded receiver room with DK, and I know Tyler Lockett's getting older, but he's still going to steal touches this year from him. I think he's a player you want to wait on, and I think he'll be ready and grow and mature by the time you're ready to use him when these guys age out a little bit.
Okay, yeah. I like it. Personally, I think the question needs to be asked, is it the best Dynasty team ever? Maybe. Maybe. We put it in that conversation. I'm glad you changed you gave me the overall ratings. At first, we didn't do overall ratings, got a 95, and I saw these ratings, these roster strengths, and I was ready to go in. But let me come back and see why I was going to say that. For the 7 at QB, I have 2 when healthy, 2 top 10 quarterbacks, and 4 starters. So I felt, 4 starting quarterbacks is a lot to have for a 12-team Superflex league, I would say. And then RB, I have 3 RB1s from last season. I can't get at least 8, 3 RB1s.
We're moving forward.
Then,
we're moving forward from last season.
Tight end is fair. Honestly, I've made, I would say, 2 major mistakes since we've started the league. One was trading up for Treylon Burks on a rookie draft. That was just a bad move, obviously. And then 2, last year I thought I was in contention. I had Mark Andrews, and then, I was in contention. I was the highest scorer. But I had Mark Andrews. He went down with an injury, so I traded him off for Ferguson, and then and a pick. I think I had like the 204 or something. But I ended up choking in the playoffs anyways, lost first round. So if I knew that was going to be the case, I would have just kept Mark Andrews and then had, like a top 5 tight end there. But Ferguson, I still like, still a good asset. Cowboys always use their tight ends, and he's a young guy, so hopefully we pay him. Bench, 5. That's crazy. That's madness. Like you said, I mean, I don't have like great running backs back there, but I do have from last season 2 top 10 wide receivers on the bench. I have ton of receiver depth, and then, like I said, the 2 starting quarterbacks on the bench as well. And then age, my starting lineup is actually, the average age is 26 years old. So I know we seem younger because a lot of those guys have been around for a while, but still, I mean, I have my core pieces I should have around for a while. Overall, definitely do want to upgrade the tight end, something I've thought about, or at least worst case, get some depth on it. Waller is like 90% out the door. They say the Giants expect him to retire. So I will be swapping him out. I don't want to drop Darren Waller and then be like, oh, actually he's not going to retire, just because the upside that Darren Waller has. Funny how I got Darren Waller, though. Actually, I kept on to Sam Darnold all last year just to have him in case something happened, to Brock Purdy. And then the Brock Purdy owner before the playoffs traded me Darren Waller for Brock Purdy, or for Sam Darnold. And then neither of these guys are going to play a single snap for us. So it was the most nothing trade that possibly could have happened. 0 snaps for 0 snaps going. But yeah, no, I love my team. I look at it probably 3 times a day in the off season and just think about how blessed I am to have this team. But I'm excited. So yeah, definitely going to retool. I had the most points for last season. I won the championship the year before. So I'm ready for the season to start and just contend. Someone we don't have on the bench there is Lad McConkey. Someone you know I'm super high on. I got don't roll your eyes at my boy Lad. So some depth there. Tight option to be the wide receiver 1 there. So yeah, I'm excited for this team. I'm excited for this. And let's not pass on the name here, Backyardigans. I was so proud of that when I came up with it. I don't know why the Backyardigans were in my head that day, but I figured I'd slip Backyardigans in. And then
I'll give
one
you,
of the
I'll
league
give you
mates
an
was
8.5 on the name.
8.5. I'll take
Yeah.
it. You know, it's better. Oh yeah, and I didn't say your team name in our review, but you changed it coincidentally today. You kept your name for 4 years, and we're doing roster
Yes.
reviews. Now you want to get a
I
pun
did.
in, but
It was new last year, but then
okay,
Fields
okay.
isn't starting, so I had to get rid of it.
I had to swap it out for the vid. But yeah, no, this is fun. I'm hoping that I can win at least one. Hoping for 2 out of the next 3, but definitely at least 1 in that time span. We in our league we have a thing where first team to win 3 championships. There's a building pot every year, and that team takes it. We have 3 champions so far, 3 years, 3 champions. I'm one of those, so I'm hoping to get to 3 before those other guys. So, yeah. Anything else you thinking?
No, I mean I'm gonna go for my championship run. If not this year, next year for sure. I stacked up on my young receivers. I'm ready.
You're gonna have to wait till the Backyardigans take a step back to be fulfilling those dreams. But according to you, we're ancient, so it should be by mid-season we'll all be 50, I guess. So, but like we said, guys, that's just me and Nick going back and forth on our rosters here. We want to see yours, so make sure you drop them down. Let us know what you think about our rosters, if we accurately, assess each other's here, or if you would say something different. We're on a quest to getting 50 subscribers. We're so close, so if you can drop the subscribe for us, that would be great. Drop a like on this video. It's going to help us grow there. But thank you if you stay tuned for this whole thing. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing your rosters.
Thanks for watching, guys.